It's only after you've stepped outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. That's from Roy Bennett. Hi, my name's Eli's dad. I'm with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. Join Eli and me as we talk about how to make change for $1. Eli, what's the difference when one person makes twice as much money as somebody else? It's not time, because we all have the same amount of time. The difference is value. It's bringing what value they bring to the marketplace. Is it possible to double or triple your income? Well, the key is to work on yourself. How do you earn an above average income? By becoming an above average person. May we start with simple. Have you ever given thought to your handshake or your smile? Now I'm talking about business. I'm talking about impressions that you give to others. I'm not talking about the bro hug or the soul handshake. I'm talking about a neutral, nice to meet you, firm handshake. I'm talking about a smile. I'm talking about when you smile with your eyes. How when you smile with your eyes, you say to somebody, I'm really glad to see you. These are things that everybody can work on. You have to smile with your eyes. Now, if you're looking for an above average job with above average pay, you've got to become an above average person. So let's talk about making change for $1. I'm going to use that platform so that it'll make it a little easier for you to remember some of the points we're going to make here. All right, so take out your change person. Here we go. All right, let's start with the $50. Okay, it takes two $50 to make $1. 2 pieces to make change. The first piece is to make sure that you're thinking and talking about an outcome is never more than half of the equation. That's a mistake that many people make. To make proper change for $1, at least 50 cents of it's got to be action. Those are the 2 biggest pieces of silver that you're going to need. You must visualize in detail with fine brushstrokes, with emotion and exuberance, and with the vocalization known as self-talk at least 2 times a day. First in the morning, start your day, get your mindset properly tuned up like a concert pianist preparing for a Carnegie Hall performance. And second, just before you retire at night, like a race car driver changing his tires, that is, retiring his vehicle during a pit stop. You want to create as much contact and generate as much traction with your wheels as you can. Of course, the other half is action. Perpetual positive pontificating is only going to take you so far as a puppy pondering pablum. Food for thought alone provides zero nourishment. Get to the starting line and create momentum for forward movement. Motion creates emotion, and emotion creates a burning desire, and a burning desire creates the ultimate partnership with the universal mind. All right, let's go back into the change person. Let's look at 4 quarters. The year has 4 quarters, and we call them seasons. Recognize that there's always going to be a winter, a spring, a summer, and a fall. Nature's given us this clue, and it happens year after year after year after year. So what does it mean? It means that there's always going to be difficult, challenging times. The forecast is going to include cold circumstances to overcome. It's going to require planning to overcome shorter periods of daylight. There are economic shortcomings, there are personal shortcomings, social shortcomings, personal winters. These things happen to all of us, myself included. This past winter, just so happens coincidentally, I had to have my hip replaced. I wasn't really looking forward to that. Okay, I'd never been in a hospital overnight, and I was kind of nervous about it. So anyway, I'm getting myself all mentally prepared. All right, you're going to go in, you're going to have your hip replaced. The doctor says it's going to take you a couple of months to recover before you can go back and do what you want to do. And then 3 days before the operation is scheduled, I get a call from the doctor's office telling me the doctor just had emergency surgery on his back and that my operation is canceled. Mentally, I was in a fit. All right, so what did I do? I just got myself together so stuff like this happens. I had to wait another month where I was in major discomfort walking around. That's why I needed my hip replaced. And I went in and I got the hip operation, took care of it, had the 2 months, tried to make the most out of those 2 months by doing some writing for Project Eli as an example. And then after that, I needed to have cataract surgery. This is going to be a long winter, all right? So I had the cataract surgery. So after, but after those things happened, now I'm walking around. Now I can actually see out of one eye that I couldn't see before. I mean, stuff happens, and it doesn't just happen to me. I'm not whining about this. I'm just saying these are things that happen to everybody in life. Everybody has a winter. And following a winter, there's always spring. And with spring, you got to plant seeds, and you have to get your timing right. Just as the farmer planting seeds for his crops can't wait 2 months too late, otherwise the crops aren't going to grow. So you have to recognize the change in the season. That's the first thing. You have to prepare the soil, and you got to take action. You've got to plant the seed. You've got to fertilize it. You've got to keep up with it. Every time there's a winter, there's a spring that follows winter. And of course, after that, you have summer. What happens during the summer? That's when you start to get maximum growth. And when you have maximum growth, 2 things you have to remember. Number 1 is you have to keep up with everything, all right? And the second thing is you have to protect what you've built from things around you that are going to be bugs, there's going to be weeds. In the case of human beings, there's going to be people that are going to be planting negative seeds all around you. They're going to be the weeds. That's where you have to have your strength. That's where you have to protect yourself, and you protect yourself with your why. Why am I doing this? Because I want to have a major successful crop. So in addition to planting the seed, then you have to protect the seed. And then of course comes fall. And what do we do in the fall is we harvest. And when you harvest, one of the things that you want to do is to maximize your yield. So you do the very best that you can to maximize your yield. However, sometimes, one of the things that separates people that are mature from people that are not so mature is that they blame things, okay? Oh, the weather was bad, or we had a dry spell, or whatever. I mean, these things happen to everybody in life. You have to assume responsibility for the yield of your crop. You can't be blaming other circumstances, other people, other scenarios that cause your crop to not be as good as you would like it. By the same token, when you have a good crop, you need to be proud of the fact that, yes, I did this, yes, I did that. This is the wine because I achieved what I achieved. Okay, these are the, winter, spring, summer, fall. You have to recognize that these things have happened since the beginning of time. They're going to continue to happen. So you can't let yourself get too far down, or as I like to say, you can't get too high on the high or too low on the lows. You have to remember that they're going to continuously be winter, spring, summer, fall. All right? Now, let's take a look at how we're going to make some changes. All right? One of the things that, people say, well, I need to change this. I need to lose 20 pounds. I need to do this. I need to do that. People are always talking about making change, but they have a difficult time making it. Now, just as it's important to spend, and I've gone over this ad nauseum with you, and will continue to do so, in order to be a good and effective thinker, you need to continuously do it, and you need to be in a rhythm. The way Einstein became a good thinker was he spent a lot of time thinking. He dedicated a certain amount of time to that. He knew that the more thinking he did, the better he was going to get at it. Just the same way as Eli, when you were younger, used to read. You loved to read. Boy, did we encourage you to read, because the more you read, the better reader you became. Right? Well, the same thing is true about making changes. So I'm going to give you a little blueprint that you can use to make some small changes so that when it gets time to take bigger steps, you're going to be in a position where it's not going to seem as difficult. All right, we're going to call these the dimes. All right, let's give you a couple of things that you need to, that I would recommend that you do. Just little changes that you make in your life, conscious changes that are easy to do and easy not to do, but will get you in the habit of trying different things so that you won't feel so awkward, or you won't make it seem so difficult to make some changes. All right, first thing, smile every day. Smile at 10 people you don't know and say hi. First of all, you're going to be very surprised at the response you get from people, because people are walking by you like this. All right, you don't see them, they don't see you. All right, but you give them a smile and you go, "Hi, how are you?" They're going to look at you and they're going to go, "Okay, hi." All right, try that. It's something easy to do. It's a change. It'll get you in the rhythm. All right. Another thing you might want to do is go to Google in the morning and go to some famous quotations and pick a quotation and make it your thought for the day. All right. Plant that seed in your mind and make it the thought for the day, and kind of relate that thought to the things that go on during the day. All right. That's another change you can make. Here's a real easy one. All right. In the morning, when you put on your shoes and your socks, okay, or your stockings and your high heels, or however you want to do it, some people you put on a sock and a sock and a shoe and a shoe. Make a simple change. Put on a sock and a shoe, put on a sock and a shoe. Just make that simple change. Do it. It's easy, right? It's making a change. When you brush your teeth, here's another one you can do. Instead of brushing your teeth, if you're right-handed, with your right hand, brush your teeth with your left hand. You'll have to think about it. It won't be as easy, okay, because you're used to doing it with your right hand. But do it with your left hand. It'll take a little bit more time, but you'll notice the change. It's a little bit more difficult than the other things that we talked about. But it's a change that you're making. Make some changes. Once again, if you want to be a good thinker, you got to think. If you want to be somebody that makes changes to improve yourself, remember, you're not going to improve if you keep doing what you're doing. You're going to get the same results. If you want to make changes, you want to feel comfortable making changes, you've got to do some things that are uncomfortable, that take you out of your comfort zone. Here's another one. At night, instead of having dinner, have breakfast as dinner. Make yourself an egg dish. Make an omelet. Make French toast. Make pancakes. All right? Do something different. Change your rhythm a little bit. All right? Just make a little change. Get yourself in the mode that, you know, if I do the same thing all the time, do different things. All right? Here's another one. Say good morning to 10 people during the day before 9 o'clock. All right? So make it a conscious effort to say, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You'll be surprised at the responses that you get. See, and one of the other things about it is when you make changes and you do things like this, you start to see, my goodness, I'm just doing one little thing and I'm getting these different responses. When you say good morning, when you smile with your eyes at someone, say, I'm glad to see you. Good morning. I'm glad to see you. All right? You say that with your eyes. You'll be shocked at the responses that you get. I've had a number of people tell me, like, boy, you're an awfully positive person. All I said was good morning. All right? How about another one? Okay? When somebody says to you, and this is a very common thing, so, how are you? How are you? All right? Instead of saying, fine, and you, say something different. Say, you know what? I'm better than good. I knew a gentleman years ago, and and I heard him do this all the time, and it always got a response. People always would, you know, because they're expecting you to say, fine, and you, all right? He would say, how are you? And they'd say, fine, and you? And he said, I'm better than good. Then you take a look, and people, they have to get it in their mind what he's actually saying, and say, I'm better than good. Try something different. Get a response. Get a reaction. All right? And one last thing recommend is give your significant other or your children an extra kiss in the morning before you leave for work, or when you come in from work. Give them an extra kiss and say, I love you. That will get a response also. So the idea is, get used to making little changes, and when you get used to making little changes, then it's going to make it easier for you to make some bigger changes. All right? Now, okay, let's see. We've done the half dollars, we've done the quarters, the seasons, we've done the dimes. Now let's do the nickels. The nickels. Very easy. Make a conscious effort to say thank you 20 different times. There's 20 nickels in a dollar. 20 different times every day, and keep track of the number of times that you say thank you. And should I say at least 20 times. You'll find that once you start doing it, it's going to be easy to go over 20 times. There's so many things to say thank you for. Say thank you. People appreciate it when you say thank you. I know that when I do something and somebody just, like kind of looks and doesn't do anything, that matters to me. Now, I don't know if you're exactly like me. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But the point is, when you say thank you, when you express gratitude, you're recognizing that the other person exists, that the other person did something, and that you appreciate it. People like that. You'll get a response. My point is, when you make these changes, you'll see that the circumstances, the situations around you change. When you change, the circumstances change. What most people do is they want to wait for the winds to change to move their boat in a different direction. It doesn't work that way. You've got to move the rudder. You've got to charge up the motor. When you change, the things around you are going to change. So practice these little steps. All right? So that's the nickels. Now let's talk about the pennies. There's 100 pennies in a dollar. So what are we going to do for 100 different things? Okay, well, first of all, here's a great one to do. Focus on your burning desire, your goal, your affirmation from each side of the balance sheet. Now, there's 3 sides to the balance sheet. There's the personal side, the business side, and the spiritual side. And write a brief sentence spelling out your goal, your affirmation. Let me give you an example. Okay, first of all, let me tell you why you want to write it out. You want to write it out because when you write something down, it gives it clarity, because you've got to think and organize a thought to make literal sense out of it. So it'll make you think, it'll make you organize, and make it brief. Give you an example, all right? I'm a great dad because I set aside special time for my son and I listen to him. Simple affirmation, all right? Say that to yourself 33 times. Take a couple of minutes and just repeat it 33 times. What will happen is, in your brain, it'll start to register. Repetition means retention, and it'll get your subconscious working on your behalf. All right? Good things will happen. All right? Like I said, one of mine is, I'm a great dad because I set aside special time for Eli every day, and I listen to him. All right? Let me give you a different example. On the business side, let's say you're in sales. I will make 2 sales today that add value to all that are involved. I will make 2 sales today that add value to all that are involved. And you want to say that 34 times. All right? That's the business side of the balance sheet. On the spiritual side of the balance sheet, okay, and people have different levels of how religious they are. I like to choose, when I'm making these talks with you, the neutral level. All right, so I am one with the universal infinite mind. And repeat that 33 times. So choose 3 different affirmations, brief ones, and repeat them 33, 33, 33, 33, 34, 33, however you want to do it. So you have 100 different sayings that you're saying to yourself, and these will activate your subconscious mind in the 3 areas of life's balance sheet. the personal side, the business side, and the spiritual side. All right? So, once again, if you want to make change, you can't just like jump in. It's not like you just, sitting by the pool and you jump into the water. It's not that easy. One of the things you want to do is practice making change. And when you practice making change, you will see the circumstances around you change, because the people with whom you are in contact will respond to what you're doing that's different. And when you do it yourself, when you make your affirmations, your 100 affirmations every day, your subconscious will respond. Isn't that what you're looking for? You're looking to get a positive change, a positive response. All right? Our thought for the day is from George Bernard Shaw. Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. And because we never end our meeting on a philosophical note, let's get out there, make some changes, and charge! I'm Eli's dad.